If you're new around here, I'm SanjayC. I've made a few videos about Native Instruments keyboards already, but I've never compared all of the Native Instruments series keyboards together in one video. If you're trying to decide which series of Native Instruments keyboards is right for you, you've come to the right place. Today, I'm going to compare the M32, the A25, S49, and S88 keyboards. This is not a sponsored video, but Native Instruments did send me all these keyboards to try out. And if you use the links in the description to buy one of these, it does help my channel and you get the same great deal. Thanks. Now, I review a lot of keyboards on my channel. Check out the other videos and do your research before choosing any one keyboard. Watch this whole video because I'm going to point out important DAW features and the key feel differences for all of the keyboards. And I'm going to start with the smallest and the cheapest, and we'll go up in size and price from there. So as we jump up in series, I'll just be highlighting the extra features that each series adds. All right. Let's get started. I'm going to start with the smallest and cheapest keyboard that Native Instruments offers, the M32. The M32 is obviously the best option for a keyboard on the go. In fact, even though the A series comes in a 25 key version, it's not something you can just grab and go. The M32 is small enough to throw in a largish backpack, and it has 32 keys. I really like having the extra keys over the A25. It does make a difference. The keys are mini, but they have a good feel. It also has some basic keyboard features for raising and lowering the octave and adjusting velocity. The M32 doesn't feel cheap, but the buttons have this loud clicky sound, which I don't really like. The M32 has a tiny screen, which gives you a window of information and will save you from looking at your computer screen. Right now, it's controlling my DAW, so it's showing me the volume on my individual tracks. If I'm controlling Komplete Kontrol, I can have control of different parameters for sound design. The screen is certainly not as nice as the S series full color screens, but it's a functional feature. Most keyboards from other manufacturers in this price range don't include any screen. All Native Instruments keyboards do two things really well. One, they give you hands-on control of the Native Instruments Komplete Kontrol software, and two, they give you control of your DAW functions. Let's talk about the DAW functions first. The M32 gives you transport controls to play, record, stop, set the loop, metronome, and tempo, and it also lets you control mixer settings with these knobs. You can control volume and panning. In DAW mode, this large knob allows you to navigate the timeline. If you use Ableton Live, you can use the knobs on any one of these keyboards to control Ableton instruments, effects, and even third-party plugins like Omnisphere or Serum. I show you how to set up any Native Instruments keyboards in a video up here. Now here's where it gets good. The M32 gives you hands-on control of Komplete Kontrol software. And if you have a bunch of Native Instruments, this software is super useful. It lets you browse and audition all of the Native Instruments software instruments and instruments from NKS compatible plugins as well. This includes Contact Instruments, instruments by Arturia, Yuhi, Heaviosity, and tons of other manufacturers. This means you can browse sounds across all of these plugins. So if you want a pad, you don't have to decide first which instrument, which plugin you want to use. You're browsing presets from all of them. You also have easy access to other Komplete Kontrol features like setting the scale and the chord functions, arpeggiators, and some other things as well. I think the M32 is a great choice for portability, but also a great choice if you already have a large keyboard by another manufacturer and you just want to add the Komplete Kontrol features. The low price of this keyboard makes that a really valuable purchase. You can watch my dedicated review of the M32 in a video here. On the back of the M32, you have a USB port and a pedal port. By the way, if you have a question about any of these keyboards, leave it in the comments below. Here's a quick tip. If you don't own any Native Instruments keyboards, but you have a bunch of Native Instruments or NKS compatible plugins, you can still use the Komplete Kontrol software. You won't get the hands-on control, but it still improves the way you browse sounds. I list my favorite features of the Komplete Kontrol software in a video here. Next, we have the A25 keyboard. Here's the size in comparison to the M32. This keyboard has the exact same DAW control and Komplete Kontrol features as the M32, including the tiny screen. The A25 is part of the A series of keyboards and comes in 3 versions, the A25 with 25 keys and a 49 and 61 key version as well. Features are the same for the 3 except for the number of keys. The A series is much larger than the M32. That's of course because of its full-size synth action keys. But it also adds pitch and modulation wheels instead of the touch strips on the M32. I prefer the wheels, and these have a really good solid rubber feel to them. If you need full-size keys for your home studio, but you don't have that much space to spare, the 25 key version is fine, but you do get a better playing experience with the 49 key version, and it doesn't cost much more. If you can find the space, go for the 49. If you're an experienced keyboardist, you like the keys on the A series keyboards. They feel good for the price and are very comfortable to play. The spring action is good, but in my opinion, it's a slight step down to the S series. The spring action on the S series feels more natural. The build quality is good, almost on par with the S series. The buttons are loud and clicky, just like the M32. On the back of the A series keyboards, just like the M32, you've got a pedal port and a USB out. If you want to watch my full video on the A25 keyboard, check it out in a video here. Before we move on to the S series, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you're finding this information useful. Now we're moving on to Native Instruments premium keyboards, the S series. At first glance, it looks like the S series just adds these 2 color screens, but there are a few additional features that you don't get with the M32 or the A series. I'll get to those in a sec. Now the S series and the A series are about the same size and the keys are also the same size. But let me talk about the key feel. They feel slightly more premium compared to the A series. The difference isn't huge, but it's there. The S series keyboards also add aftertouch to the key bed. That brings me to the build quality. Stepping up to the S series doesn't add much in the build quality area. I would have thought that with the top tier, Native Instruments would include higher quality knobs, for example. But they feel exactly the same as the A series. The buttons are better. No more clicky sound. The pitch and modulation wheels feel about the same as the A series, but the S series adds the horizontal touch strip at the bottom left, which I have yet to use. You can program it to control different things. The S series also adds these colored lights above the keys. These light guides show you the key in your chosen scale. For example, I can turn on the scale feature. They're only lighting up now the keys in the key of C major. Now these are also really useful for contact instruments. Let's check it out with strummed acoustic. So right now you'll see all the blue lights correspond to the area where I can play chords with this acoustic guitar instrument. Now in these areas down here, I can make other guitar sounds. And down here, I can change the type of strum that it's doing. So these screens are really nice. The camera just doesn't do them justice. They're bright and colorful. You really have to experience them in person. But they don't just look good, they are really useful. Of course, it makes the Komplete Kontrol experience so much better. You can browse all your NKS compatible instruments, and then you can load them, and you can modify them without looking at your computer. It's a huge step up from that tiny screen on the M32 and A series keyboards. My favorite feature by far is the mixer control. Pressing the mixer button here shows you a display of the tracks that you're playing, and you can adjust them right from here. The visual display is so useful. You even have access to mute and solo buttons. Now above the screen you have selector buttons. You can use these to select different tracks. They can help you navigate Komplete Kontrol as well. All the buttons on the S series are quiet and they're laid out really well. After just a few minutes on the Native Instruments keyboards, I already start to feel my efficiency improve with almost no learning curve. S series keyboards also add additional buttons to the left of the screen to help you control the machine beat making software. It's a nice touch, but man, Native Instruments would have really covered all the bases if they included drum pads. That would have made this the ultimate keyboard in my opinion. And one more thing the S series does is that it gives you much more comprehensive customization control of your knobs and buttons. Using the Komplete Kontrol software, you can manage what MIDI CCs are being sent to your DAW from these knobs and buttons. I've already set this up and you can see that now my buttons do different things. In Omnisphere, Nexus 2, and a couple other plugins, I can use these buttons to change the presets going to the previous and next one. And I can use these knobs in plugins that are not even compatible with Komplete Kontrol and still control things like cutoff and resonance, anything that I want to program. I'll show you how I did this in an upcoming video. On the back of all S series keyboards, you get some extra ports, including MIDI in and MIDI out, in addition to the USB out and the pedal port. Last, we have the S88 keyboard. The S88 is the flagship of Native Instruments keyboards, and of course it's the most expensive. But what are you paying for? I mean, it has the same features as the other S series keyboards, the S49 and S61. Well, you're really just paying for the additional keys. It's a full-size 88 key keyboard, and the keys are hammer action. This is my keyboard of choice because I grew up playing the piano, and this is as close as you can get to that piano feel. But the keys are not just heavier, they feel super premium. The black keys especially have almost a wood-like matte finish to them, and the touch matches the look. If you've got the space for it and you're a pianist, this is the Native Instruments keyboard to choose. I have a dedicated video on the S88. You can watch it over here. I've said it before in my videos, with these keyboards, you're really buying into the Native Instruments world of instruments. The software integration is what makes these keyboards special. So what software do you get with each of these? Well, each series comes with different software packages. All Native Instruments keyboards include the Native Instruments Komplete Kontrol software, the Machina beatmaking software, and Ableton Live Lite. They also include Native Instruments Virtual Instruments. The M32 comes with Monarch, Reactor Prism, and Scarby Mark I. The A series includes all of those and adds Gentleman, the piano instrument. The S series keyboards add a lot more by including the Complete Select bundle, which has massive Ethereal Earth, retro machines, and lots of other instruments and effects. Native Instruments also offers the Complete Start bundle for free to everyone. It has lots of presets from across their instrument collection. You can use any of these keyboards in any DAW as a MIDI keyboard that controls Komplete Kontrol software, but DAW functions like transport controls are specifically compatible with Ableton Live, Logic Pro, GarageBand, Cubase, and Nuendo. Native Instruments also recently added MCU support for S-series keyboards, which allows you to use the Komplete Kontrol keyboards in any DAW that offers the standard Mackie Control Universal Protocol. Most DAWs have this, but you'll just get transport DAW controls like play, stop, and record. I hope you enjoyed that tour of Native Instruments keyboards. You'll find links to all these keyboards in the description of the video. Keep making the music you love, and thanks to Native Instruments for letting me try out these awesome keyboards. I'll see you guys later.